Great morning, great morning, great morning. It's 8 o'clock and time for the It's About You radio show because it truly is about you on WDRB Media, the voice of the community. Listen, guys, if you're having breakfast, let me have that cup of coffee. If you're just waking up, come on, it's time to get it going. If you're in the gym, let's get that last rep in. Thank you so much. It's about you because as I always say, at 8 o'clock in the morning, we're going to talk about topics that are going to be different, topics that are going to inspire you, topics that may be controversial, topics that may make you think, but more importantly, to add value to your life. The It's About You show. Do you need exposure for your business, your brand, your organization? If so, let the It's About You radio show help you fulfill your needs for more exposure, more business, and return on your investment. Follow me at Maurice McDonald 24 on Instagram, guys. Listen, I always start each morning with the morning motivation with Mickey D. And this day's motivation point is no different. I want to talk very, very candid with you about discomfort. You see, discomfort is always necessary part of the process of enlightenment. Let me say that again. Discomfort is always a necessary part of the process of enlightenment. And that's by Agmandino. Agmandino. Wow, powerful statement. Let's take that first word, discomfort. How many of you know that people love comfort? We are creatures of comfort. We love comfort zones. Well, let me go ahead and tell you this right now. Your comfort zone is your broke zone. I'm not talking necessarily about money, but it does apply to capital. If you're comfortable, if you're in your lazy boy chair, you're in your comfort zone, there can be no growth in your comfort zone. There can be no progress in your comfort zone. You must be discomfort. You have to be made uncomfortable. So discomfort is always a necessary part of the process of enlightenment. You know, my students at the college where I teach, I always tell them, if you are in your comfort zone, if I'm not stretching you, you're not growing. If you don't feel uncomfortable, there is no growth. And where there is no growth, you don't progress. You are unable to help others because you cannot grow. And it's very important for us to know that. So this morning, while you're having your coffee or driving in the car or you're at work listening, wherever you are, ask yourself, am I comfortable? Do I like discomfort? Well, it's not about liking. It is about making the changes. You want to lose weight. You got to be uncomfortable. The sweet tea, can't drink it. The donuts, you can't eat it. The gym, you can't avoid it. I didn't say go and hurt yourself, but you must do something daily to progress forward and come out of your comfort zone because it is a necessary part of the enlightenment. You cannot move forward stuck in your comfort zone, loving your comfort zone. You must get uncomfortable with the process as you grow and as I grow. That is so important. Even in relationships, sometimes you have to get uncomfortable to make progress, to come out of your comfort zone. And so that has been your morning motivation with Mickey D, brought to you by MauriceMcDonald.net. Please go to MauriceMcDonald.net to learn more about gut health and everything else there. Again, that's MauriceMcDonald.net. And we're going to be talking about some amazing information today with a guest speaker that we're going to have. And this guest speaker is somebody that I know, someone I trust, someone I have a great amount of respect for, someone who's an expert in the field we're going to be talking about today. Somebody I know that's likes to bring the truth as it is pertaining to her amazing profession. And we're going to be talking about that right now. Yeah, man. Listen, like I said, we have a special guest today. Someone, like I said earlier, someone that's really, really impacting the lives of a lot of people. And the topic we're going to be talking about today is substance abuse. Yeah, that word substance abuse, what it is and how about it. It's very controversial where people think, well, you know, people should just quit drinking, just stop, just stop doing it, just do it. Just pray about it and it'll be over with. Well, today's expert is going to be sharing some knowledge with you about this topic. And this is none other the legend in Charlotte, North Carolina area, Miss Deanne White. And she has extensive information to share with you, her background and what qualifies her. And first and foremost, Deanne, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here, Maurice.
Absolutely fantastic. First of all, you took out time of your busy schedule to be with us in the studio this morning. But tell my audience a little bit about who you are and what makes you this expert about this topic.
Sure. So I've been in this business for about 32 years now, both mental health and substance use. I am dually licensed. I'm an LCMHC as well as an LCAS, so a licensed mental health counselor and a licensed clinical addiction specialist. I currently work at Central Piedmont as the department chair for our addiction and recovery studies program and have had an array of jobs. I've been a case manager, I've been a supervisor, I've been an assessor, I've done tech work, I've done treatment, and so I've kind of dabbled in a little bit of everything.
Great. In terms of substance abuse, over all these years, so I'm sure you've seen a lot, and here now being the program chair at the Central Piedmont Community College. First and foremost, if there are people listening right now, this topic touches everybody when it comes to substance abuse. But if you had to define it, what is substance abuse?
Yeah, so there are people who can drink who don't have an issue. It doesn't interfere with daily life or daily activities, their family, those kinds of things. It starts to get problematic when it interferes with life, activities, job, family, when people are starting to question what you're doing and how it's affecting everybody in your orbit. It becomes an issue because it interferes with daily life and it causes distress. And those are the main characteristics of abuse of anything.
Right. So that abuse is not just alcohol.
It's not. It could be anything. It can be alcohol. It could be opiates. It could be marijuana. It could be exercise. It could be food. It could be shopping, love. There's any number of things that, if not managed appropriately, they become an interference in our lives.
Right. So I'm sure what you just named, everyone can think about somebody in their family or friend that touches. So when you think about people who abuse substances, the most common one people hear about is the alcoholic. Mm-hmm. Those types, because it's glamorized on television. You'll see in movies that drinking is acceptable mm-hmm. part. And about how many people do you think that can would be alcoholics? Probably a rough figure in this country, in the United States, perhaps, you think?
Well, I know that in and around 3 to 4 million people have some sort of substance use over the past 12 months. So you could probably third that. Let's do 1 million. And that's probably underestimated. Mm-hmm. So please hear me say that.
Right.
That's people who report it.
Exactly.
This is not people who don't report it or we don't have a diagnosis on.
Very good, very good. And you know, I this topic, when I decided to do this topic or to talk about this topic, it became very real for me because growing up in a household, my mother's first husband was an alcoholic, and he was very abusive. And so, as a child growing up with that, and having an uncle who was an alcoholic, he was a functioning alcoholic. He worked every day, but on weekends, and he was a fun uncle.
Sure.
And as a child growing up, I always knew he was a fun uncle, not realizing that he was the alcoholic. Taught me to ride a bike and all that kind of stuff,
Right.
And I just know I decided to talk about this one because I know I wasn't the only person. There's so many people who have people in their families who have issues with substance use. But can you discuss your experience with working with individuals who struggle with substance abuse? What are some things that they problems that they may have?
Yeah, so I think what we're learning more and more is that for most, not all, but for most people, there is some level of trauma that is involved. Now, this trauma can be that they grew up in a household that used substances, and there were things that went on, like intimate partner violence, like physical, emotional abuse that went on. And even just witnessing that can be part of that trauma. So we know that trauma plays a role in this. The other thing is that we also know that having parents who are diagnosed with a substance use disorder typically increases the child's risk by 50%.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you grew up in it, your chances are more likely. And, we come to chicken, egg, nature, nurture. I'm a full believer in biopsychosocial, spiritual. All of that's involved. I don't think there's a single piece that we can take out and say, yep, it's that. It's all of these things. It's this combination of biopsychosocial, spiritual.
So when you say bio, well, what do you mean when you say a bio?
So we're talking about genetics, my genes. It gets, you have two parents who are substance users, or you had grandparents, and this genetic piece is passed on. And so, that's the biological piece of this. The psycho piece is mental health. A lot of people have co-occurring disorders. And so we're talking about how mental health affects people who use substances, or how substances people use affect mental health. And again, it's a chicken-egg thing. For me, that's less important than it is to recognize they play together in the same sandbox. And then we have social, that's you grew up around it, you're in it, you see it, you witness it, it's part of your daily. And the spiritual piece of this is, lots of people who come in, whether they realize it at the time or not, are a bit empty, or they have a hole somewhere, and they're trying to fill this hole so they feel better. And there is typically some kind of spiritual connection as people become sober. And again, that's not for all, but it is for a lot.
And I know from a faith-based perspective, I've heard many people, pastors who mean well. I think they truly mean well, that the spiritual part plays a role, that higher power.
Sure.
And they just say, well, you need to just, let's pray for them. Everybody would pray around them. They lay their hands on them. They anoint them with oil, and they would pray maybe for an hour if necessary.
Sure.
And just tell that person, just don't drink. And And I know there are people thinking, well, if he really wants to stop, or if she really wants to stop, if they really want to stop, they won't do it. Mm-hmm. Or they've been given ultimatums by family members. Mm-hmm. You quit drinking, I'm out of here.
Yes.
And yet the person drinks. Mm-hmm. And then, speak to that if you would.
Yeah, so a while back I had a supervisor who said to me, I worked in detox for 17 years, and he was a supervisor for me. He said, Deanne, these are not bad people trying to get good. These are sick people trying to get well. This is not about good and bad. This is about sick and well. And I am all for the praying. I am all for the anointing. But there's more to it. We have to have the full picture, and that's going to include treatment and support from other programs, peer support, those kinds of things. It's not a matter of just stopping. We have all at some point tried to stop something. Lose weight, or stop eating sugar, or I'm going to cut all the carbs out. Think about how difficult that was, and think about how long you were successful. Because the person in addiction is just like you. They're trying to stop. They are doing what they're being told. And sometimes relapse happens. We hope it doesn't, but it does sometimes. Mm. And we just have to realize that it's just not a matter of stopping. It's more than that.
Yeah, I love what you said, that these are not bad people trying to be good people, that these are people who, like anything else, want to get well. Mm-hmm. People don't get upset if somebody has diabetes and they're not doing certain things, and that they're not condemning them. Oh, you're a bad person. Mm-hmm. In the end of the day, and oftentimes I think there's a lack of knowledge could you talk about, let's say, how do you handle situations where there are clients, they're in denial of their substance abuse problems, or they're resistant to treatment?
So I very well may have a bit of a unique perspective on this. I am a big believer in motivational interviewing. And motivational interviewing involves meeting the client exactly where they are. And if they're not ready, that's okay. But that does not mean that I stop plowing the field. It doesn't mean that I stop planting the seed. It doesn't mean that I stop watering it. It means that we take this a step at a time. I give information. I let you chew on it. We have a conversation about it. I develop a relationship. And lots of times it is that relationship that changes people's perspective. It's that support. It's that I believe in you exactly the way you are. It's that non-judgmental, unconditional, positive regard. And I believe that everybody has in them what it takes. They just don't know it yet.
Wow. That is so, you talk about chew on it. That's a lot to chew on right there. And I want to go right into that, because that unconditional positive regard, when my self-esteem has been beaten, when I feel like I've lost my family, I've lost my job, I got arrested for drunk driving, my insurance was canceled, I feel less than, I'm not worthy then. And yet you're saying unconditional positive regard and relationship with me plays a role in you. If I feel that you really genuinely care about me, I'm more likely to want to change some more.
Absolutely. This unconditional positive regard, this genuineness and this authenticity that we share, right? So many times our clients haven't shared that in so very long. They've had so many people making demands of them. I'm not that person. I'm going to walk beside you. I ain't going to walk behind you. I ain't going to walk in front of you. I'm going to walk beside you. We'll do this together, all right? Your pace. I'm good with that. When you're ready, we'll take the next step. Whatever that looks like. But I'm here for the ride.
Yeah. And this goes back to what you were talking about, the diet or whatever else. The person who overeats, the person who's going to lose 1 pound at a time, that idea that they've been judged and now you're going to meet me where I am, as you said, and use that term motivational interviewing. Yeah, that piece about so you want them to have their own motivation.
Yeah.
For their recovery.
Absolutely. They have to figure out what their motivation is. What are some things that you want to have happen? How do you imagine your future? Okay, so you imagine you have a job, you have your family back. How do you get that? What's it going to take for you to get your job and to get your family? Let's talk about that. Let's brainstorm. Okay.
Yeah. Because I've often heard I know from experience also, what's your why?
Absolutely, yeah.
Why do you want to be sober? What is your why? And I often heard that it's nice for people to say, I want to be clean. I don't want to use for my children or I want to keep my job. But oftentimes I've heard that it has to be intrinsic. I've got to figure out, it has to be within me to really want it.
Yeah, so, and again, my perspective may be a little unique, but I believe there's a intrinsic and extrinsic piece to this. If it takes your children to get you to me, we'll get to you.
Gotcha.
I'm okay with you using your children as your motivation to get you to see me. We'll get to you. We'll get to the you.
Yeah.
But I need you sitting in front of me first.
Come on. So in other words, whatever, by any means necessary to get them there. And then later on, we may figure out intrinsic now. I want that relationship with my children. Yeah. And now they're not talking to me. And that's important to me. And I'm only here because they demand it. Or I remember, I've heard the term spouse mandated. or partner mandated.
Absolutely.
That, and they left and I got to get treatment. I got to come in here. I'm resistant. So that brings up a very interesting question when you mention about family. But how do you incorporate family members or support systems into treatment process for clients with substance abuse issues?
I think my first statement is very carefully.
Okay.
Very carefully.
Yeah.
I think, again, this comes down to education. I think so many times families don't understand that this is a family disease. And it's a ripple effect. This identified person who's using has this ripple effect with everybody. And all of us in a family play a role in how this family functions. And so many times families initially come in and are wanting us to fix the identified patient. I hate to tell you, but all y'all the identified patient as far as we all have work to do. It's the whole family. And it's really important that we typically work on things like, what are your roles? How do you play those roles? What kind of codependency is there? Is there an enabler in the family? How are we going to change the rules that this family functions by to kind of upset the apple cart. And there'll be trials and tribulations, but it comes down to education, communication, and figuring out that we all have a place and a role. We're all going to have work to do. Lots of families also get referred to Al-Anon, or sometimes teenagers Alateen. And those are really great places for families to go and get assistance and to find support from other families who have or are going through the same thing. They have a child, they have a husband, they have an auntie, they have a cousin, and they need support. I don't know what else to do. I'm running myself ragged. How do I take care of me? And that's the other thing. Everybody in the family has to learn how to take care of themselves.
Very powerful. You use several words, and one of them is enabler.
Mm-hmm.
Who is an enabler, and what is an enabler?
So an enabler is, sometimes I refer to them kind of as a fixer. They fix issues that the person using substances, they fix the situations they get into. They'll call into work for them. John's sick today. Or they'll go out to the car and clean up the beer cans or the vomit or things like that. Or they know it'll just be easier if there's a six-pack waiting. So let me go ahead and stop by the store. I want this to be an easy night. I ain't got time for all the... So I'm just going to go ahead and put a six-pack in the fridge. And that way, when John gets home, it won't be a rough night for us. And so those are the kinds of things that an enabler may do.
Okay, that sounds like a friend of mine who was an educated, matter of fact, an educator who struggled with her husband for years,
Mm-hmm.
crack cocaine,
Mm-hmm.
and he would say, all you got to do is just do this, give me this, $5, buying cigarettes for him. He wouldn't, to make it easy.
Mm-hmm.
And then you mentioned about the services, Alan, and I reckon, and being someone who's a friend to you,
Mm-hmm.
that advice doesn't come easy.
Mm-hmm.
There was some resistance.
Yeah.
When I said you need to go to counseling.
Sure.
It was very defensive very adamant. I'm not the problem. What are you talking about? And hung up on me on the phone. And I said, it's not, I gave her a moment to calm down and called back and said, listen, this isn't about saying you have the problem, but you've been involved so long, you need support, or you need to go. And finally, through some resistance, and went, and that was a turning point for her to go. And she found there were other women there who, and one of them in particular said, wouldn't give her son a sandwich because the son kept coming by. She wouldn't even give him a sandwich, whatever, not realizing how many sandwiches mom had made for him, and money and attorney's fees, and she had enough.
You're right.
Of that. So, and the one for teens, she said, what was that called?
Alateen.
Alateen. Places where they can go for support.
Absolutely.
And this is nationwide, all over the country. They have programs like this, correct?
It is. And, since COVID, a lot of these programs have also moved online and have a virtual component. So it's hard to make an excuse for not being able to get to a group kind of thing.
Yeah, COVID changed the game, but everybody Zooms on, and now, and it was frowned upon, this type of counseling before, but COVID changed churches and everything else. That's our new norm.
It is
to
our new
do
norm.
that, absolutely do that. But listen, what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break here. This has been fantastic information and sharing of some wonderful information. We're going to take a break right now. As a matter of fact, this first session has been brought to you by MauriceMcDonald.net. Please go to MauriceMcDonald.net and learn all about fantastic gut health for your body and your mind. We'll be right back.
I've known for a while now that inflammation, brain fog, low energy, and gut issues were all connected. But I honestly didn't realize how much I was out of balance and wasn't firing on all cylinders until I felt what it felt like to actually fire on all cylinders. I love the way I feel, and I genuinely look forward to taking these products every single day.
I love the Healthy Edge pack. It allows me to be more energized throughout the day. My recovery time from the gym is better, and I just feel a sense of well-being and vitality. My sleep is on point. I get restful sleep, because a lot of people sleep but they don't get restful sleep. That combination of P84 and Protandim is a 1-2 lights out punch, guys. I love it.
My hormones were out of whack, my gut health was bad, my sleep was off, my energy was off. A friend reached out to me, talked about a little yellow pill and a couple packs of powder. My health has never been better. My number 2 is great, if you know what I mean, and your number 2 does not lie on how your gut health is. These little packets of powder and this one little yellow pill has completely changed my health.
After introducing the Healthy Edge stack, something clicked. I'm sleeping soundly now. Restful nights. Waking up refreshed, feeling renewed. Digestion regularity. It feels amazing. And if you're listening, here's what I know for sure. Small, consistent choices compound into a life you're excited to live.
If you want to learn more about the Healthy Edge Stack, simply go to mauricemcdonald.net, MauricemCDonald, and learn about the Healthy Edge Stack. Do it today. Guys, welcome back. It is the It's About You show with Mickey D here on WDRB Media, the voice of the community. We're continuing our interview here with Ms. Deanne White, who has been dropping a lot of gems, a lot of information about this topic of substance abuse. But Deanne, I want to go into this one here about what role do you believe group therapy plays in treatment of substance abuse, and how do you facilitate group sessions effectively?
Yeah, so, I think that lots of times, initially our clients actually don't like group settings. Addiction in general, isolation plays such a large role in that. Putting people in close quarters, in a circle, talking about feelings, it can be very uncomfortable. But as we've talked about before, uncomfortable is how you grow. And so, in a group setting, it can be very impactful. A lot of it because the feedback you're getting and the information you're getting is actually not from me, the group facilitator, it's from your peers. The peer group that you sit with are the ones responding to what you're offering to the group. And they may share, oh, I've had those same feelings, or, man, why are you thinking about that? You got a reservation. Why are you? And so, again, once you get to that working piece, the group becomes very, very powerful. And they give each other the information and the support that is needed. We are facilitating and directing traffic.
Mm-hmm.
So what would y'all say to John now that he's about to leave? And y'all have worked with him, y'all have been with him for the past 20 days. What are some words of advice to him from y'all? And so coming from his peers, not me, would be much more powerful. The other piece of group is looking at support groups or peer support groups, and those include 12-step programming, the AA, NA, Celebrate Recovery. There's also a number of other recovery type groups also, things like Refuge Recovery, Smart Recovery, those kinds of things. And that is also peer-based. You are going to meet other peers to get support from people who've had similar experiences and have longer sobriety than you. and they act as support, they act as guides, they help you, if you're in 12-step, they help you complete the 12 steps, they help you look at behavior, they help you look at mindset, and so group in treatment and out of treatment actually plays a very large part of how people are successful.
Oh yes, I've had, as you well know, you and I have been in this arena for a while, but I know I've seen pictures of people who were in recovery, and then I see the picture of them now when they've got, and everything they talk about is my sponsor. Mm-hmm. This, my sponsor this, my sponsor that. I call my sponsor. My sponsor's coming to my graduation.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
We've had our Honor Society program just last week here at the college, and one of the students who makes no bones about it, and she's doing fantastic, she told me, my sponsor's coming. And when the sponsor and his wife walked in the room, she lit up like a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
I mean, here was a male that did not look like her, total different race, total different sexuality, everything else. But when he walked in, it was like, Daddy's here, and that look, and she was being honored with, with being a part of the Honor Society, which lets you know she's an outstanding student, and she had passed her test that she had gotten for her certification, and she's working in the field, and she's got 2 years of clean time. And I just looked at her face, and she was what introduced me to him and his wife, and it was just that feeling, and I saw that glow, but to hear her talk about where she came from. So that part about that sponsor and that peer support, and then of course the sponsor tells the story that he's got 20 years clean time. And I think many people, I want you to speak to this, many people who don't understand why people are celebrated for their sobriety. And I hear people saying things like, well, what's the big deal? I never drank. This is a big deal. You just don't do it. And they bragging about how long they've been clean. Can you speak to that a little bit as maybe why we celebrate and why the person is so enthusiastic?
Yeah. I think there's a couple of reasons. One of them is it goes back to this is not easy. You come in, you are told you can never have sugar again. You can never. Maurice, I don't care how bad you want it. You can't ever have sugar again. The thought of that is daunting. How am I going to live a life? How am I going to live a lifetime and no sugar? Well, that's why we do it one day at a time. One day at a time is a much smaller bite than forever. And the fact that someone can accomplish this for any length of time, 5 days, 5 months, 5 years, it's an incredible accomplishment. There are so many things that can get in your way and trip you up. What if somebody didn't tell you there was sugar in this drink over here? You picked it up, you thought it was unsweet tea. Here you go.
Ooh, yeah.
Right? There's so many things. The other thing is that why not celebrate? Again, these are accomplishments. They have worked really hard to change the way they are living and thinking. Not everybody in life can do that or does it. They are taking an honest look at themselves on a daily basis, which is a lot more than a lot of us do.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
And they're making life work. They're getting back everything that they've lost. Kids, jobs, families, husbands, cars, houses, jewelry, whatever it is. But being able to do this gets them a place of celebration. All accomplishments should be celebrated. So should theirs.
Absolutely. That when you put in that perspective about that tea, you didn't know sugar was in it. Mm-hmm. And you drink it, and now that taste of that sugar, it's so good. I just got to have just one more. I just want one.
That's it.
Can I just get one more glass and I'm good after that? Is that pretty much how the relapse goes sometimes?
It does sometimes. And lots of times, relapse begins long before the drink or the use. Lots of times, there are things that get in the way. They slow down on meetings or whatever support they're using to remain sober. Typically there's a lack of self-care. People sometimes overwork. Instead of drinking, using, those kinds of things, they'll engage in a 60, 70-hour work week instead. I got to keep busy. I got to keep my head, I got to keep out of my head. And so sometimes they kind of exchange it for some stuff. But there's a lot of things. A lot of it comes down to self-care. Am I hungry? Am I angry? Am I lonely? Am I tired? Those are some of the key things that can pull you out of taking care of yourself. And you have to be able to recognize what sets you up, and it could be any of those things. It could be other things. And, it's sometimes you don't know what life's going to throw at you. You just have to be prepared. Like the tea. You don't know what's coming.
Right.
But if that happens, what's your plan?
Yeah.
What's your plan?
So in other words, that plan, what I'm hearing you say, correct me if I'm wrong, the like the fire drill. I got a plan, the fire drill. What I'm going to do.
Route?
What's exactly?
What's your escape route?
So this is kind of similar.
Yeah, again, I think we need to work with our clients on these plans, on these relapse plans. I think we also have to be really careful because so many times we tell people relapse is a part of recovery. While that is true, it's also not necessary. You don't have to relapse. And so it's walking that fine line between saying, if you relapse, it's okay, let's get it back together. And also telling them it's okay to relapse. Because that's not what we're saying.
Right.
But working on these plans, these escape plans, family get-togethers are hard, 4th of July's, Christmas, Thanksgiving, funerals. Oh, and don't forget sunny days. Don't forget a good paycheck. Don't forget, there's a whole bunch of reasons to get off track. But, it's being able to look at yourself honestly and figure out what's probably going to trip me up and what's my escape plan when I cross that. Mm-hmm. How do I get out?
So if there's a family member, because I know there's a family member listening, mm-hmm. who've got a family, brother, sister, spouse, child, that they are living what you're saying mm-hmm. about perhaps giving the person some grace
yes.
through their struggles and not to come down so hard on them. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, and I get it. Maybe they've been in treatment for a minute. Maybe they've gone out of state. Maybe they've been gone for a year. And this is the first time that they're coming back to the area, maybe. Give them some grace. Maybe meet them in a neutral spot. Be mindful. How about let's not have a cooler of beer or liquor out, or don't be inviting them around to the side of the house, to hit a joint or something like that. Allow them to recover. Allow them to be successful. Because most families struggled when they were using. So support your family. It's not that they don't want to see you. It's just that it's hard sometimes. And I think they want to see family. I think they want to see friends. I think they want to go back to the neighborhood or wherever it is. But they have to be really careful about that. They have to be prepared and ready. And sometimes that takes a minute.
Takes a minute. It is a process. So there is no magic genie to snap the finger and this is over with. Also, let's talk to the person who's listening right now, who is the addict.
Okay.
What message would you have for someone who's hearing what you say and they know you're playing their tune right now? You're playing the song they're living. They're not denying what you're saying. That they hear you right now. They may be sitting in the car riding with somebody, hearing this information, can't turn the radio off. What message would you have for them when they have maybe time after time struggled and everybody's telling them you need help, you need help, you need help, and they're in that big river in Africa, denial? What would you say to them?
It's never too late. You can make a decision today. It'll be a hard decision. It'll be one of the best decisions you ever make to go to detox. Got to break the cycle of your using pattern. That's what detox helps with, as well as clear out all the other stuff. The other thing is, don't leave before the miracle happens. Don't leave before the miracle happens. Be patient with yourself. This will be hard. You've done harder things. You're resilient and you can be successful. The help is there. Come get it. No judgment.
Wow. That man, don't leave before the miracle happens. So in other words, the miracle is possible.
Always. Always. I was in detox for 17 years, and I had a client who came in on a regular basis. I would guess that if I saw him once, I probably saw him 200 times, maybe more. We always hoped that recovery would happen. After years, it hurts to watch the process. But the last time that he came into detox, something hit the right chord. He was able to remain sober and died sober 6 years later. And he had probably been drinking for close to 45 years, if not more. Seizures, broken noses, broken chipped teeth, cirrhosis, lots of medical conditions because of it. But he kept coming back. We kept serving him. And it took. There's hope for everybody. And we'll have hope for you until you have hope for yourself. We'll have hope for you until you have it for yourself.
And that is powerful because oftentimes they feel like they feel hopeless.
Absolutely.
Because
it's a
tough road that they've had to go a tough road. The criticism, the physical pain, the losing of the job, losing of the family, life. They were lifing.
Yes.
Negatively. And hope. So you said we'll have hope for you until you can have hope for yourself.
Absolutely.
I'm going to carry you emotionally. I'm going to be there with you, support you. So even when I mess up, I can come back to you.
Yep.
And you're not going to point fingers at me and say, I can't believe after all I've done to help you, this is how you repay me.
This ain't my recovery.
Come on.
This ain't my recovery.
Yeah.
This is their recovery. If I take responsibility for them being unsuccessful, then I have to take responsibility for them being successful. I'm not responsible for either one of them. I am simply there to help with the process. They are responsible, and they deserve their successes. Why would somebody want to take that away from them? But it's not about me. It's not about my feelings. It's not about what I think you should be doing. My job is to support you. What can we learn from this episode? What can we take from this? Maybe we didn't expect something. Maybe we didn't talk about this last time. Maybe you're ready to talk about something that you didn't, that's still hanging on. Give people the chance. Recovery is possible for everybody.
Absolutely. And even the individuals who feel like nobody cared, when they find that person who does care and willing to put their, so to speak, put your money where your mouth is, or put your feelings out there to support that individual, what would you say to somebody who is that individual who from time to time might get burned out? That person who is the support. And because it can be very difficult.
It can be.
What would you, yeah. And oftentimes it could be a family member. It could be a friend. It could be a neighbor, a colleague. That person that they may call at 2 a.m. when they are on the verge of really making some bad decisions. What would you say to that individual?
So, self-care is important to everyone, family, friends, us as counselors. And for us as counselors, it can become an ethical issue. We have to take care of ourselves. When we don't, when we get burned out, we start making bad decisions. Families are the same way. When they get burned out, when they get tired, you just don't think the same way. You know, ultimately what people need to remember is that you can't pour from an empty cup. If your cup is empty, stop trying to pour stuff into somebody else. You need to go find something to fill your cup up with. And I don't care what it is. Maybe it's a vacation. Maybe it's going camping or hiking for the weekend. Maybe it's going to a conference. Maybe it's a spa day. Maybe it's church, singing in the choir. I mean, whatever it is that fills you up, that's what you need to be doing. And that's for families, counselors, friends who are dealing with someone who is experiencing addiction. You have to take care of yourself first. Can't pour from an empty cup.
Oh, my goodness. I know somebody was blessed with that statement something that came to my mind also was the flight attendant on the plane who tells me to put my mask on first. If I'm traveling with a child or someone, senior citizen I'm responsible for, if they lose altitude and I don't put mine on first, I can't help them.
Right.
So this is the same message that you're saying.
It is.
Self-care, take care of you. And oftentimes there are people who feel guilty. I should be doing this to help him. I should be doing this. They sometimes are stepping out of the boundaries, I think, of their own self-care.
Absolutely.
Trying to help this other individual.
And that's how families become resentful. Right? Here I am. All I ever do is take care of you. I'm running up and down the street. I'm giving you money. I'm making sandwiches. I'll let you come in the house and take a shower, whatever it is. And families start to get resentful. Well, it's because you're not taking care of yourself.
Oh, self-care. Self-care is so important. And I believe this is a good point here for us to take a little short break again, because self-care is truly valuable, because I'm no good to anybody else if I can't help myself with that. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. This second session has been brought to you by MauriceMcDonald.net. Go to MauriceMcDonald.net and learn all about care of your amazing gut. We'll be right back.
I've known for a while now that inflammation, brain fog, low energy, and gut issues were all connected. But I honestly didn't realize how much I was out of balance and wasn't firing on all cylinders until I felt what it felt like to actually fire on all cylinders. I love the way I feel, and I genuinely look forward to taking these products every single day.
I love the Healthy Edge pack. It allows me to be more energized throughout the day. My recovery time from the gym is better, and I just feel a sense of well-being and vitality. My sleep is on point. I get restful sleep, because a lot of people sleep but they don't get restful sleep. That combination of P84 and Protandim is a 1-2 lights out punch, guys. I love it.
My hormones were out of whack, my gut health was bad, my sleep was off, my energy was off. A friend reached out to me, talked about a little yellow pill and a couple packs of powder. My health has never been better. My number 2 is great, if you know what I mean, and your number 2 does not lie on how your gut health is. These little packets of powder and this one little yellow pill has completely changed my health.
After introducing the Healthy Edge stack, something clicked. I'm sleeping soundly now. Restful nights. Waking up refreshed, feeling renewed. Digestion regularity. It feels amazing. And if you're listening, here's what I know for sure. Small, consistent choices compound into a life you're excited to live.
If you want to learn more about the Healthy Edge Stack, simply go to MauriceMcDonald.net, MauriceMcDonald, and learn about that Healthy Edge Stack. Do it today. Hey guys, we're back. This has been outstanding information shared here. We're here with Ms. Deanne White, who is the substance abuse licensed clinical addiction specialist and mental health. And by the way, she teaches at several universities around the country as well. Before we go, I want to give some information. We've shared a lot of stuff here, but can you give us some numbers or information if somebody wants to reach out to help somebody or help themselves?
Absolutely. Please keep in mind that we do have the new number. It is a suicide and crisis line, so don't hesitate to call it. That's 988, and that's also national. The other place you can go is www.aa.org. That is their national site for Alcoholics Anonymous, and it will assist you in locating AA meetings near you. NA has the same type website. It's www.na.org, and they will also help you find a local meeting that you can attend. And lastly, there is a national helpline for substance use and mental health. That number is 1-800-878-5828. 800 662 HELP. Please don't hesitate to use any of these numbers to get the assistance and help that you need and deserve.
All right, if you would give those numbers out one more time in case somebody had trouble getting a pen there.
Sure. The first number is 988. It is a suicide and crisis line. The other number is 1-800-662-HELP. And that is a national hotline that will assist with mental health and substance use treatment. AA.org and NA.org will help you find a local meeting.
You know, this information, we've talked about this a lot today, and I know I want to follow up with you again because this topic is so broad and there's so much more that we cannot get into in 1 hour. Mm-hmm. But I think it's been so enlightening for people to hear that there's hope, to hear that I can help my brother, mm-hmm. I can help my spouse. I got some information, and also to forgive myself.
Yes.
And also to self-care. Mm-hmm. I can't pour from an empty bucket. I can't pour. I've tried. I'm angry mm-hmm. all the time, and I'm yelling at them. And I think this is going to enlighten a lot of people to realize that they're good intentions, mm-hmm. but they got to take that trip themselves.
Absolutely.
They got to take that moment. Go to the concert, as you said. Mm-hmm. Go for the drive in the country. Mm-hmm. Go somewhere and maybe go to counseling themselves.
Yes.
As you mentioned about going into, Al-Anon and,
mm-hmm.
A whole family needs help. To
mm-hmm.
sum it up, it is not just one alcoholic or one person who's using is the problem. The whole family has an issue.
Yes.
Because oftentimes, I know as a professional school counselor, I had parents come in and point to me, fix him. The kid keeps running with him to school. I work 2 jobs. I got this, and he's the problem. Mm-hmm. And then I would talk to the child, and then I realized, oh no, this is more than this is everybody. And I started hearing it, but most of them didn't want to do it. So, people, if you're family, realize that you're part of this process, part of that journey. And so I so look forward to us continuing this topic at another time to talk about this. Hey, listen, this has been a wonderful show today. Again, this is Mickey D, and this is It's About You radio show here on WDRB Media, the voice of the community. We will see you all next Tuesday morning, 8 o'clock. Until then, go and be great.